Welcome to Pause and Ponder from Inward Vessel. I'm out here visiting in the mountains today, and I've got a mountain stream next to me, so that's the sound you're hearing, and it's just such a beautiful day. And being here is one of the tender mercies in my life. And it's so fitting as we're talking about tender mercies this week. And so one of the first things I want to talk about is a parable that is in the seminary manual this week. So once upon a time, there was a donkey that wandered away and fell into a dry well. And this poor donkey is stuck. He can't climb out on his own. And so he's sitting just feeling so sad and so lost and forgotten. Then he looks up and he sees the farmer's face. But the next thing that happens is a shovel full of dirt lands on the donkey's back. And he's a little mad, and he shakes it off and steps forward out of this dirt. And then another. And he shakes it off and steps on top of it. And time after time again, the farmer is shoveling dirt onto the donkey, and the donkey doesn't understand it, and he's getting so upset. But over time, the donkey realizes, hey, I can see the rim of the well. Oh my goodness, I'm getting closer. And then finally, the donkey is able to walk out on his own. And sometimes I feel like that when the trials of life just pile upon us and we feel like we're drowning. But we have all these tender mercies that in the moment may not feel like it, but they are. And so as we look at the story of Joseph this week, we know that Joseph was the favored son because he was Rachel's oldest. And then Rachel ends up dying in childbirth with Joseph's younger brother, Benjamin. Well, Joseph has 10 other brothers who were not very happy that his dad likes him the best. And they're especially not happy when Joseph has dreams about them bowing to him in the future. So ultimately, his 10 older brothers sell him as a slave. But while he's a slave, he ends up finding favor with Potiphar and becomes leader of Potiphar's household. So all is going well until Potiphar's wife accuses Joseph of wrongdoing. Then he ends up in prison. So now Joseph is in prison, and he finds favor with the guards, and he becomes a leader in the prison. And one day, the baker and the butler both have dreams, and Joseph interprets their dreams. And he asks the butler, please remember me when you get out and tell Pharaoh what I've done. Well, it's going to take 2 years before the butler does this. Now, some might say the butler had forgotten, and that's possible. But also, did the butler and Pharaoh have casual conversations with one another, which I find a little unlikely. So maybe it was 2 years before the conversation presented itself for the butler to talk about Joseph. The scriptures say he suddenly remembered, but I just wonder about all the things. But then Joseph gets out of prison by helping the Pharaoh, and then he becomes leader to prepare everyone for the upcoming famine. And so he prepares for the 7 years and then will be in charge when the famine comes. And so I think of this story of Joseph with the parable of the donkey, where time and time again, Joseph had to suffer. And yet each time there were tender mercies, little blessings that he received, such as in having favor with others, and because of the type of person he was. And so I think as each one of us, as we're doing our best to walk the covenant path, to think celestial, and to follow Jesus Christ in all things, then we can find those tender mercies in life, just as Joseph did, just as the donkey did, and we can find our way through all of the trials and all of the hard things in our lives as we recognize those tender mercies for what they are. So I hope you all have a wonderful week, and I will see you next time. Thank you so much.